Feel like we finna change the cycle, ayy. That's the most success, you know we thriving, ayy. That's the most depression for our rivals, ayy. Could teach a lesson on survival, ayy. You know I'm from the bottom.
What's good, wealthy people? Welcome back to another installment of the Black Wealth Renaissance podcast. It's your boy, your man's David Bellard, one half of the crew, with my brother from another, Jalen. Was I with you?
What it do? What it do? What's good with you, my brother, man? I'm back. I'm feeling amazing. I sound a whole lot better than
You do
last
sound
time.
a lot better, my
So,
dog.
man, I'm ready to pod. I'm ready to get active. What's up, all my aunties and uncles on the internet, my cousins? Shout out to everybody. Thank y'all for rocking with us. We hope y'all enjoyed last episode.
Yeah.
We back and better.
Y'all let us
starting
know.
to shake some rust off and everything.
For sure. Yeah, y'all let us know. Y'all know what we need y'all to do, man. Leave us that little rating and review.
Yes, sir.
That definitely lets us know what direction y'all want us to take the show, what y'all were looking to hear from us. We were talking about a few different things as we're getting back into it. We know interviews are a big thing. So, hey, man, we're going to be reaching out to some people, and we want to introduce y'all to people who can put y'all on some real game. We're talking about a lot of the changes with things that are going on with some things in terms of acquisitions and mergers. So we get some people who have a bit more breadth and depth on that and get that in here. You know, we're gonna keep giving y'all the game, but as always, you know, we gotta talk about what's going on, man, because that's also a part of what we do here at Black Wealth Renaissance. What was going on and how it affect you. So
let's get it.
Let's get it, man. So getting right into it, my brother. What was the first topic we want to talk on today, dog?
Man, honestly, bro, I wanna. How's everything going in your life, man? What's some updates, man? What have you done recently? You got anything exciting?
Oh man, yeah, man,
any
life is
recaps
good.
or anything like that?
Yeah, bro, life is good, bro. You know how it goes, man. Try to enjoy life a little bit along the way. Been working. Went to a concert the other day. Went to see Wale and Smino. That was a good time, man. But I realized something. I learned something about myself at that concert, bro.
What'd you learn, man?
At the big age of 31, we done with the pits and standing room only, man. We gonna stand up and watch that concert.
You want to be comfortable, man?
Oh yeah, bro. That like the concert was great, but it definitely made the experience less fun for everybody there because it was like a standing room only crowd. You know, I don't know if you ever been to a concert at Southside of Gillies in Dallas. And my Dallas people know what I'm talking about.
Arts Beats and Lyric whenever Big Crit was
there. And you kind of see you so you understand.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like it kind of it's a real big space that's mostly
it feel like a college party.
Yes, and you don't always want them vibes, man. You kind of just want to enjoy the music, you know. And I wasn't expecting that for a Wale concert, you know, or Wale and Smino. Man, them boys cool. They make the R&B tracks, man. I like, you know, vibing out with them boys. And they were still, you know, pushing and jumping. It was good time,
it was
though.
Still rowdy? The crowd was still rowdy?
Yeah, man. Like, it was some folks that was a little rowdy in there. I seen
Was it pretty packed in there?
Or? Oh, it was pretty packed. You know, people passing out.
Sold out show?
Yeah, sold out show. Yeah. It was people all the way packed out to the back. But,
damn. Yeah, it's pretty big back there too.
Yeah. But never again will you catch me on that flow. I tell you that, my brother. I'm going to see Cole later this year. I'm going to be in one of them seats. I'm going to sit my ass down, get me a little beverage, and enjoy them songs and sit there and vibe.
And vibe out.
Yeah.
Not have to worry about everything.
Oh yeah, man. We over that. What about you though, bro? Any updates on your end?
Shit, man, I'm just coming off of like a 6-day work week straight. Besides that, just the boys, family. Boys doing good. Lennox trying to learn how to walk.
Yeah,
Maverick
big Lenny.
Ear infection, so dealing with that. But he went back to school. And for me personally, I haven't done anything fun recently. But I'm working on that. Me and Tanae did go on a little lunch date today. Just we go eat some birria tacos. So
nice. You know,
her being out of school, we get to spend a little bit more time and everything.
Some time away from just you and the kids, man. You know, you can't just make it always just y'all and the kids.
Heck yeah. So definitely just looking to get back to some fun stuff, man. I was thinking about it. I was like, man, I ain't traveling so long. I need something different. I need to go move around, go move and shake.
Yeah,
Dog.
man. Like I told you before, man. You just need to get you a good hangout with the bros, man. I know you out there in Houston. I'm out here in Dallas. I gotta pull up on you because definitely it's important to get those reset moments in here, bro. You can't just always how they say that all work and no play make
Hell
Jalen
yeah.
a dull boy, man. You know what I'm saying? Lose that
I
little
know, man.
spark and that excitement.
I don't like that either, dog. Like that ain't me. That
Nah,
ain't
man,
me
you
at
gotta
all.
have that in you, you know. So it's one of those things that definitely and it don't have to be something crazy. I think a lot of times whenever we think a getaway, we think something over the top, something expensive. It can just be those things that you've had fun doing. Get the guys together, go fish. You like to do that type of stuff.
Shit, I was even just thinking, nigga, go sit down at a bar, eat some wings, and just go do something, man.
Just like get out, spend
Yeah.
some time, get some me time because you spend a lot of time with the fam. It's all important.
Hell yeah. Speaking of that concert though, somebody did hit me up about some tickets the day that he was in Houston, but I was at work. I was like, man, I really would have liked to go. I might try to catch me a concert this year though.
Yeah, bro, definitely. I don't know. I know you're a big Chris Brown fan, man. You catch see me
Man, them
whenever
tickets, yeah, nah, man.
Oh
Them
yeah,
tickets
he
was a
busted
little too
heads.
much for me,
Concert
dog.
tickets is
Him and
crazy.
Usher. It's him and Usher. Them tickets was a little
Oh
bit
yeah,
too much
oh
for
yeah.
me,
They
dog.
talk about 500, and you probably standing in the
Well,
bleeds.
I'm trying to remember how
That's
much
what
it was.
Bruno was doing in Dallas.
Tanae was looking into them, but it is a stadium tour. So, stadium tours are much bigger venues.
Yeah.
I went to his stadium tour last year for the Breezy Bowl. I did go to Breezy Bowl last year. That was my birthday present from Tanae. And it was in the stadium. I was in the 200 section, and I was like, damn, I was far back. So I'm like, do I really want to pay this much money to be in that section? But like floor seats was going for like 1,500.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I know somebody that got some floor seats. I was just like, I could do so much more with that money, man. So just opted out to it. But I'll find something else. I saw Kalani's going on.
That's what I'm saying, bro. It doesn't always have to be crazy, like some places, for me, when it comes to concerts, a lot of the artists I listen to, they're not like super duper mainstream, so they're not gonna be charging you $200 for a ticket. You can get a great ticket, a sit down ticket, $100.
But I like that too, bro, because I like the smaller, more intimate shows because they just feel a lot better.
Oh yeah, for sure. Fun. And then you there with real fans a lot of the times. Sometimes you go to these bigger artist shows and you realize that like some people are there just for the name. They're not actually fans of the music. They haven't really listened to or connected with that art. And that's a part I enjoy about going to concerts is like being amongst people who enjoy the same thing as you. I think that with the concert that I went to, right, it was a lot of people that lacked concert etiquette, that weren't really fans, that were just there, they're just kind of doing shit.
Man, what's concert etiquette? What you mean by that?
Man, if you in a concert, bro, it's just certain shit you don't do, man.
Give me an example, dog.
Man, somebody walking past, they saying, "Excuse me." You start poking them in the side of the head, like, nah, you can't come stand right here. Like, yo,
no way that happened.
Brother, that happened in front of me.
So just random people. Did a fight break out?
Somebody said a fight broke out on the back end of it. I didn't.
No, I'm talking about from a direct result of this.
No. But it was a woman poked a man in the head, son, and she was like I seen it on his face. You know that look where it's like.
Them nostrils starts to flare. Like
that boy had that Ike Turner in his eyes.
Yeah.
I said, "Don't do it. Jesus. Don't do it."
Not Ike.
He didn't do it. I was proud of him, but I could see it in his eyes. Like he was like, "Whoo!" He almost smacked fire from a lip. Yeah, man. But stuff like that, dog. Like recording people, like recording.
I don't
strangers,
think that's concert etiquette.
Recording
though,
strangers.
I think that's just common sense and etiquette in general. Like, bro, you don't do that to nobody.
Or if you got there late, bro, guess what, my nigga? You late, nigga.
Good luck.
Nobody has to let you get in front of them. They can tell you no.
At all.
Yeah.
That's interesting then, man. But yeah, beyond that, the only other exciting update I got is I scheduled my consultation for my vasectomy.
Why is that?
I'm scared.
You excited or you scared? I thought you was nervous.
A little bit of both.
Snip. Hey,
Yeah,
my boy
man.
said he's serious about not having no more kids.
I'm done.
And let me tell
Finito.
y'all,
Through.
because Jalen funny, y'all, right? So before he had Lennox, my godson, he was talking like, man, I'm one and done. It's over with, bro. I'm going to get this vasectomy. And then boom, like a month and a half later, you kind of mentioned it off and on. It's like, son, you ain't going to never believe what happened. What happened, bro? Man, Tanae pregnant again. I said, well, damn, Jalen, you said you was going to get the vasectomy, now you two. I said, you might as well shoot for 3, brother.
No. I'm straight.
But nah, man, nah. I know you say you're nervous about it, but it is actually a much safer procedure for men than it is for the women. I come from a family where a lot of the women, they have to get hysterectomies due to medical issues after childbirth. Like on my mom's side, most of them after having 1 or 2 kids is like,
Dang.
or like once they hit a certain age, they have to get some type of medical procedure done. Whereas for us as men, it's just like it's a tube, bro. It's just a tube, and they just and then
Yeah, I heard it's an
quick to heal.
outpatient procedure.
It's
and
quick to
everything.
heal, bro. It's nothing crazy. Like for them, they got to be monitored, and so that's a responsible decision for you. Don't go making no more babies, but you
responsible on my pockets too. This daycare ain't no joke, boy.
Ooh, boy, that daycare. Speaking of which, man, that's one of those things we were talking about, inflation, cost of living. As I think I mentioned this earlier, just showing something to the audience, the people watching on the tube. We did see like a graph that was showing how much more things cost these days versus
that is crazy.
versus what it used to be, right? So let's show this real quick.
While you pulling that up, I forgot today I was in the gym and I was talking to one of the older men that I always speak to, and he told me that he used to own a daycare.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, I used to be making like $10,000 a week. I was like, damn, a week? He's like, yeah, and we had a daycare back in like he said they started daycare in like the 90s.
Well, yeah, I could believe that, bro. Think about what you saying. You paying a month and how many kids they got at that
It's
daycare.
a lot of kids at that daycare, bro.
Bro, they're probably doing numbers that are way crazier than that. So I got these numbers pulled up, right? So like this is a chart that shows the cost of goods over time as compared to the wages have increased by as well as inflation, right? Account for inflation. So wages since the year 2000 were up about 131%, right? You got child care though, 158 outpacing it, college tuition 196 outpacing it, and at the top, hospital services, man.
Sheesh.
Outpacing.
I don't know how much I trust that average hourly wage crap though. I feel like the national minimum wage has been the same since we've been.
But here's the thing though. The line is inflation at 92%. So I mean, if you were looking at the difference between those two, it's maybe like a 40% increase.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like a 40% increase versus really a 39% increase versus the full 131, because the inflation in that time has been 92% from.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So money almost worth half, right? And which tracks, because I think we've seen something recently that was advising that a 50K salary in the year 2000 is the equivalent of a 100K salary in 2026.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and this tracks with this information here, right?
How much the value of the dollar has actually just decreased.
But the part that I also want to focus on when looking at this chart is this bottom half here, right? Because this shows what's become more affordable with time. And I want you to tell me, Jalen, what do you see as a commonality between those items right here, right?
It's all consumerism. I mean, as media commoditization and consumerism, dog. TVs, hey, I ain't gonna lie, bro. TVs
are
being
so
the
much
most
cheaper.
You know how much we selling a 100-inch TV for?
Probably like what, a couple $100?
$1,400 for a 100-inch TV.
Shit, and they'll probably mark it down all the way to 700 come, sale time.
Well, I know for Christmas last year, because it was originally priced at 16, then they marked it down to 12. So they might go a little bit lower this year.
Yeah, but okay, but looking at these items, like you just said, right, the common thread between these things are they're all really consumer things. And it makes me think that guns and butter conversation, right? Just stuff that matters versus the stuff that really doesn't. And a lot of these things are things that don't really impact us in that way that are gonna really impact our livelihood.
They're all liabilities, bro. Like let's just call it like to the basic.
They're liabilities.
They're all
and
liabilities.
luxuries, bro. So what we got here is a world where we getting cheap luxury, but expensive necessities.
And that's keeping us in a very bad place. That's crazy because that kind of ties back into that conversation I was having with that older gentleman today, because he was telling me how back in '94 he ended up buying some land up in Cypress, Texas. He's like, yeah, I bought it for I think he said 14,000 per acre back then. He's like, but I held on to it. Now I'm one of the only places like on that block that don't have a house. All the houses around me are like $1 million houses. So he was like, how much you think I can get for my plots of land? I was like, I don't know, man. Like, tell me. Cause I really said like 60,000.
No.
Yeah, I know I was way down.
No.
Okay,
At least if there are multi-million-dollar houses there or $1 million houses there.
He said it's like a $2 million house.
The plot's going for no less than 800.
800 per plot?
Yeah.
Really? So 250.
250
a plot.
That's still great, man.
Off of a $14,000 investment.
What area this is in too?
Cypress, Texas.
Texas.
North of Houston.
Sheesh. Off of $1,400, but that's that buy and hold.
14,000.
14,000. Okay.
Yeah.
$14,000 plot to 250, and you say he bought it in the 90s, so it's about a 30-year turnaround.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The power of buying and holding investments.
And one of the things he was telling me is like whenever he originally bought it, whenever he was younger, like a lot of people was telling him, "Oh, you overpaid for this. That was a stupid like buy and all of that." He was like, "Now look at me now."
Yeah. And that's, I think, whenever we talk about investing, I think last week we talked a lot about how the markets, and really even this week, right? Last week, the market at the end of the week, we had like a slight correction where a lot of things fell maybe 10%. But that's like a zoomed in perspective on investing. Whenever you focus on all the ebbs and flows, you get nervous and you fall out of things. Yes, I think it's important to pay a lot attention to like large trends so you know what's happening and what phase of the macroeconomic cycle we're in.
Yeah.
But like, you do yourself a disservice thinking you can time the market all the time. You're much better off a lot of times buying the thing and investing for the long term. It's rarely ever been a situation that if you bought something and held it for bought something that had inherent value, not like a frothy AI stock like Allbirds that they just said, hey man, we sell shoes, now we sell fucking AI.
Yeah. F-bombs.
My bad.
Hey y'all, I'm on him.
He is on me. And listen, y'all, I apologize, but the reason I used that colorful word was because how ridiculous I want y'all to understand that situation is, right?
It is very ridiculous.
Like whenever
if you don't know who Allbirds is, they are a company that created sustainable footwear.
They sold shoes.
Yeah, sustainable. But their whole thing was like sustainable, recycled footwear.
What do shoes have to do with artificial intelligence? The only thing the only thing artificial is the price valuation of that stock.
I don't have an answer, my brother.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but so again, saying that, like, if you buy into too much of the hype, the cycle, when NFTs were popping off, or like we talk about cycles in economics, the .com bubble, just whenever you see irrational exuberance in the market, those types of things you can't hold your bets on or hedge your bets on. But things like real estate, like what you said, that dude, things like some of these companies that are positioned, like these hardware companies that are positioned to benefit from the long-term benefits of things like artificial intelligence, that's good places to park your money.
It really is. And I guess we could kind of start off. I thought we was gonna start off with the other thing, but starting off on this topic, it's a much lighthearted, and we ain't gotta get our mood down and anything.
Yeah.
Now that we're talking about like inflation and everything, I must say I finally found something I agree with Dave Ramsey on.
What's
I hate
that?
to say it.
Because you know,
So,
what I always say about Dave, man.
What's that?
Messing around with Dave gonna leave you a slave, dog. You know,
Yes, sir.
Dave, I think he built a program that is geared toward, and let me not say slave. That's a bit hyperbolic, right? But his program is built to keep you within a system, and I don't think that the companies that offer it always have the best intentions for their employees. I think sometimes it's like hey, you know, the concept of when I think back, we talked about with Packy and Sandy, you know, like that mentality of I just gotta take what's given to me here and sew with it versus taking what I'm learning here and using that to elevate myself. I just feel like that's kind of the mentality there. But I digress. My bad. I went on a tangent.
I got you. You definitely did. But so the thing that I agree with him saying is 75. Well, not even 75. Dave is saying this is the most unrealistic real estate market we've had in 100 years, which I agree with. But as you stated whenever I told you this is probably the most unrealistic market.
This is the most unrealistic everything market. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So what I'm bringing up though is the affordability of homes currently within the U.S. We're just gonna go off of the median values in the U.S. So Dave was in this article that was posted on bar chart, and they used a lot of data from Axios. So 75%.
My bad, Jalen. What's Axios?
Axios.
Yeah.
Hold on. I ain't gonna lie. They're like a news site.
Okay, I just was wondering. I thought it was like a
they don't do like research or anything.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's not a research. They're
okay.
They're a news site, stuff like that. But yeah, Axios reported that 75% of homes are considered unaffordable in the U.S. And how did they determine that this was unaffordable? What does that look like, right? The median household earns $80,000 per year, compared to the median home price of $435,000. So if you just take what would be considered necessary as an annual income to be able to qualify for that home, you would need $113,000 annually.
So the average household is about 33K short, 30,
yes.
A little over 30K short.
Yes, of actually obtaining like a home in this current environment.
So,
and some of the things that they kind of were looking at, right?
Yeah.
Was the affordability. So they took 34 of the largest metros in the U.S., and of those 34 metros, only 11 of them actually had listings where 30% of the listings fell within reach of the minimum income for the median household.
So, okay. So breaking that down, right? In 11 major markets,
yes,
11 of the major market cities here, only about a third of those properties could actually be in that price range for those people. So, like, what would be a house that is affordable for somebody that's in that price range, right? The 80,000. Because if you're looking at the median home price of 435 at 80, I'm figuring something like the high twos, low threes.
what would be considered affordable for that one?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. So I didn't put like what would be considered affordable for 80,000. I did do like a little breakdown on the loan
Okay.
terms.
Well, yeah, you get into that, bro, and I'm gonna pull that up. I just kind of want to see what that would be.
Okay. So on this loan terms that I pulled up. So I really compared 2020 to 2026. Just to kind of show, I know you were talking about inflation and how the value of the dollar kind of like decreased and everything. I wanted to show what that really looked like compared to 6 years later with the way that these home prices actually increased. So I took the same home price, well, the median home price for both of the years. So for 2020, right, median home price in the U.S. was 329,000. The median interest rate around June was 3%. And I took a 5% down payment, which would put with a median home owner insurance price of $1,500 as well. So with your insurance, interest rate, down payment, for that year, you'll be looking at about $1,822.95 for your monthly mortgage. You take all the same median data for 2026, once again using that median household cost of $435,000.
And
Interest.
and I just want to add real quick. The reason Jalen's using median and not the average is because the average number is often skewed by higher values, and median is the number that is most representative of the number that is actually close to the middle.
Yes, sir.
I do apologize. I just wanted to
Oh, no,
clarify
you
that.
good. You good.
Said median
So
like
yeah,
7 times. I was like, okay.
you good, dog. So yeah, I am using something that paints like the broader picture for for the typical American. So once again, price on that is 435,000. Interest rate is a 6.11 interest rate because that's what it currently is right now. I used a 5% down payment. Loan amount and home owner's insurance was 2,400. So that increased almost 100% already. And the monthly mortgage on that one jumped up to $3,129.13, which is insane. If you just think about like once again how you said that inflation and the killing of the dollar, that money ain't going as far as it once did.
No, not at all. Not at all. Especially like and with rates as they climb, and it makes things less affordable. We kind of alluded to that last week. If the Fed chair does decide to raise rates to combat
That's gonna even put more pressure on that
that
system.
housing market, like
Yeah.
sellers are gonna be scrambling. Like, yo, people, if interest rates are even higher, like those 7 and 8% rates, you see a
That's
lot less people because you get a lot less house.
That's interesting as well. Whenever you're saying sellers gonna be scrambling, I actually saw another article maybe like 2 weeks ago. I was scrolling on Instagram. They stated that they've had the most delistings in the month of May recently as well. Like
Interesting.
sellers just taking their homes off the markets because it's been sitting so long.
Yeah, and I mean, I see that a lot of that in this area. This is a metro that grew really fast over the last 6 years, and yes, people are still moving here, but I see a lot more properties that are listed that are available, and they've been there for a while. They're taking price cuts, and they're just continuing to do so. And I did get a chance to pull up what would be like the max affordable for somebody that is making
That
that 80
80,000.
a year, and the max would be 360, but that's with a 20% down. If you were to go a conventional with a 5% or a 3.5, it may be a
Down
lower
payment.
number. Yeah, it may be closer to like the higher
Got you.
twos. Yeah,
Damn.
280. But yeah, man, this is crazy. Like the way that this has changed over the last few years, and just speaks to the importance of buying at the right time. I will never say, hey, you should never buy properties. But it's a lot of people who bought that concept of date to rate and marry the property that have they're kind of some of those same people who are kind of squeezed out because maybe they got in a little bit over leveraged. I think
Hmm.
that's a big thing whenever we talk about investments, never getting too over leveraged, right? We often talk about growing and scaling fast, but we've talked to enough people to know that sometimes hyper growth and hyper scaling comes at the cost of stability. And you don't want to lose that just because you see you see the opportunity for growth. You don't want to lose the stability that you have sometimes.
I think that's definitely an interesting topic because, like you said, that date the rate. I think a lot of people in 2020 did date that rate and got burned with some of these properties. But now they're like, man, I'm getting this much house for $1,800 versus if I was to sell one, how long am I gonna be waiting for my house to be actually on the market? And then two, what I'm gonna find that compares to this?
Yeah, that so many people are locked in with those, and
Yeah.
really where those people who got it for the cheaper rate, where they've kind of been getting squeezed is more on the taxes and insurance side of
Mm-hmm.
things from the rising property values. Well, that's one thing if we do see, which I mean, we see a softening of the real estate market in some major areas. Some places are growing, some places are softening. But in those areas that are getting softer, you can likely see if your property values start to stagnate, you get some normalization of these mortgages and not insurance. That's a whole different behemoth
Ball
right there.
game, yeah.
Yeah, like we.
Because they on that BS with the
Oh
insurance
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. Then like because so many insurance companies have been hemorrhaging money. They're even leaving states now. I mean, they're
quote
still
unquote
making record-breaking
hemorrhaging money.
profits every. Yeah,
Hemorrhaging money.
but here's the thing, right? In the American economy, shareholders take precedent. So if you're not growing, you're dying, and that is how those companies are structured at the end of the day. So
Facts.
while it is a real criticism, like as a person who works in insurance, that insurance can be considered a scam to many people. It's just a contract that is set up to mitigate their risk, and their job is to make money off of it at the end of the day. So you got to look at the parameters.
Yeah, I think that's BS though.
Yeah, it is.
I don't like whenever them companies start leaving the states and they got to start relying on like the state insurance and all that shit. But that's neither here nor there. Do you got any more like things that you kind of want to talk about the inflation side of things? Are
Um,
you
yeah, with just the inflation side, I mean, just really hammering home the lack of the affordability with things and
even that? Like one of the things I sent you a video. I was watching the JVP and I found it very interesting because they were making a joke. It's been a long running joke for like the past month that Ish ain't. Some of his tenants hadn't paid him since April.
Mhm,
But Ish made a very valid point. He was like, well, this actually speaks to the state of the economy. He's
mhm.
like, a lot of people are messed up out here. Like the economy, and it triggered just a thought in my head. I'm like, damn, I wonder how many other landlords are actually facing this right now, where people are starting to go ahead and not pay rent. I did see that delinquencies in the U.S. is on the rise across all categories. That's vehicles, student loans, credit card delinquencies, even
Mhm.
mortgages
Savings rates are at
delinquencies.
an
Yeah,
all-time low.
and saving rate exactly. So just all of those things did make me put a lot of thought into like, damn, it is some people that aren't able to make it. So if you
Yeah,
are,
we
just consider yourself blessed. Make sure that you're making smart and wise financial choices as well.
and I kind of want to hear from the audience, the wealthy people, our people out here that are in the real estate market, that are landlords, short-term rentals. Let us know how it's going for you. You know, we want to
You
hear from
talking
y'all.
about short-term rentals, boy. I've been keeping up with this stuff with FIFA. Short-term rentals, they thought they was about to eat for this World Cup.
Yeah, but
But
one
I ain't
second,
going.
man. Let me tell the people real quick, man. Hey,
Sorry.
man, if y'all tell us about it. I want to hear from y'all. Y'all shoot us an email, podcast at Black Wealth Renaissance. We want to hear about your experiences as in this real estate market. Kind of want to get some anecdotal from our audience, man. I want to see how it is out there because that is a valid point, right? About the economy, and we could talk about the FIFA thing, but when it talks about inflation and the effect on people right now, uh, I'm starting to see a lot more sentiment from people that is like along the lines of, man, look, it's hard for everybody out here. Like, F it, we ball. Like, just go, just don't even worry about it, cause like it doesn't matter, cause it's all going
Like you
to
talking about
nothing.
like on the bills and everything. People
Yeah,
saying
bro.
that.
Like that's like I'm
Are you
starting.
hearing people on like the internet say that, or
Yeah,
people in real life?
like on the internet, not in real
Okay.
life, not people in my real life. The
Okay.
people that I know, they handle their bills, but everybody has talked about how much more expensive things have been. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's just everything costs a bit more to accomplish. But yeah, there's some people that are like, hey, you know, if you're not able to save, like don't even stress about it. Like it's just the economy. And it's like I don't think that's always the greatest mentality to have whenever we're in a situation where the economy is in such a rough shape, right? Like, yeah, we keep hearing, oh, it's good, it's good, it's good, but like the stock market keeps hitting all-time highs, but we
Mm-hmm.
know on the ground level a lot of people
Oh,
are hurting. A lot of people aren't able to afford the same things that they could because that, like we showed on that chart earlier, the necessities are what's costing us more now. Like the things that are cheaper are things that are not necessities, things that are not, they're luxuries in life, really. Like the things you need cost more. And with that, like you're seeing so many more people just kind of like pivot their mentality, and I don't want to see anyone that listens with us think this way, right? Um, the way you should adjust to a market downturn is to find sustainable ways to kind of do the things that you like to do, but you're gonna have to find ways to adjust. I'm not gonna say you have to reduce your lifestyle, but you have to adjust accordingly when things become outside of your price range. Otherwise, you end up in the boat like what Jalen's mentioned, and this is why we see so many people with record levels of debt. Why we see savings levels are decreasing, because people aren't necessarily making these adjustments to these changes. It's like, I joked about it, like, hey man, I love going to get steak, but I'm not about to be dropping 50 for ribeyes. Like every time I want a ribeye, man,
exactly.
sometimes I'm
Yeah.
just going to eat the chicken, bro. Just save the money. Like it's cool. Like sometimes you got to make those decisions.
Man, speaking of beef, they got other shit going on with beef. Man, my fault for cursing. They got screw. Our beef herd has screw worms and other stuff like that. But that's just something that I had thought about. Yes, screw worms is crazy. I'll come back to that topic in a later date.
Yeah, that sounds
I kind of
insane.
want to segue to the next topic. You're talking about like the economy and like where people are at, and what a lot of people do is whenever they're feeling like their money's not going further, they'll go ahead and find another job hop and
Hmm.
everything, right? But right now, what's going on? A lot of people are hunkering down at where they're at because of how rough it is
In
even
the
to
job
find a
market,
job
facts.
in the job market as well, bro.
People are
So it's a
putting in
lot of people.
thousands of applications and getting zero responses.
Nothing. It's a lot of people who are miserable at work and they're staying there because they like, damn, if I leave here, how I'm gonna pay my bills? Like they're seeing the stories of I've been 23 months without a job and I'm still looking. I got laid off. Like that's crazy. And
Yeah.
I've seen those stories on social media.
Yeah,
So I
and
kind
it,
of want
it
to.
is crazy, bro. And I'm glad you brought that up because, like, one of the things that is affecting that hiring process is the
Mm-hmm,
adoption of artificial intelligence into the hiring process. So like, right now, the job market, anybody that's ever applied for a job right now knows like LinkedIn is
shit,
under heavy
I'm looking for
scrutiny.
something right now.
Yeah, like LinkedIn's under heavy scrutiny. A lot of these online job boards are under heavy scrutiny for the usage of AI filtering tools that are basically just kicking resumes out and not giving people a real chance. And it was actually found that like 90% of employers, well, it's estimated by the World Economic Forum that 90% of employers use AI algorithms to sort their applications. So there's the problem arises is with this is there are only a limited amount of vendors that provide this service. So a lot of these companies are using the same vendors, and it's leading to what's called an algorithmic monoculture, which
So
is
basically, they getting the same results across all the places.
boom, bam, thank you, sir. You know, like it's just simple. There's a fancy word for saying we getting the same result everywhere because of how the algorithms
Hey,
are.
let me talk to my I hate to say it like this, my black people, man. Some nigga pulled up on the block, flooded the streets with the same work. Everybody got it. Not everybody got the same shit, and it's nothing different.
Is monoculture, monotone, bland. It's a great
Everybody got the Zaza, man.
and the Zaza man selling you bunk the whole time.
Yeah.
He's selling bubble.
But everybody got it.
Everybody got it. But no, like to that point, right? It's creating this very homogenous environment where it's only the same people are getting selected for the same types of roles. And there's actually a study that was conducted by Stanford that found they went in. It wasn't with a typical job application tool. It was with Pymetrics, right? You do you know Pymetrics?
That's the one where you gotta answer the questions,
It's-
the shapes, and all of
yes,
that kind
yes.
of crap.
So it's a
like the
behavioral-
cognitive, yes.
Yeah, so it's a behavioral test with games, and the way Pymetrics applications would work are they try to test your reactions to different
how
things,
you gonna prioritize certain things,
risk assessments, and what your risk appetite is, your cooperativeness based on how you play these games. So Stanford's study reviewed over 4 million applications from 3 million different applicants that were all with Pymetrics. And what they found was because of the different biases of these algorithms, it was often selecting for the same people to be rejected for positions based on the information that they had based on other positions that they applied for.
Dang.
Because it built a profile on you. So like you may apply for a different role with a different company, but because they're using the same vendor and they have that same information, you're being denied on that same qualifications from the prior application.
That's BS.
It was found that like I think up to 4% of people were just denied for 10 applications straight. Like 10 applications, all 10 out of 10 denied. Just based on, the behavioral exams that they had, which was higher than what would normally be found through manual
Like a
human
traditional-
review. Yeah. Or like even a traditional assessment, which is, that one where they ask you the questions and it's like strongly agree, strongly disagree. Those even select for a less biased way, right? But what does all this have to do with people in the job market? Well, because of these algorithms, right, especially when it comes to us as Black people, these algorithms like behavioral ones with Pymetrics, they select for certain groups of people based on the criteria and current composition of the company. So if a company is mostly white, and this is kind of like how they train their algorithms with this is our staff and this is our culture and these are the type of people, and it lacks diversity,
They're gonna select somebody.
it's going to over-select for that group because behaviors are often determined by where we're from and our culture. Culture determines behavior more often than anything. And one thing that was found was Black and Asian applicants, actually 25% of Black applicants and 14% of Asian applicants, their profiles were often recommended only for positions that were considered disadvantaged for them, right? So like you're not getting you're not the finance job. So for the finance bro job, you could have the same qualifications in these things, but maybe you grew up different than Connor, and you do have a different
Way that
risk
you.
appetite because you grew up missing a couple meals. But Connor,
Mhm.
he never did that. He never, or even if you didn't grow up missing a couple meals, right? You just have a different risk appetite because we grew up with black grandparents who
Mhm.
grew up, like for me, my grand grew up through the depression. They take different lessons and things like that and instill that in our culture, right? So all these things play a role, and what it found is that it over selects us for stuff like warehousing and under selects us for stuff like the white collar technical type
Mhm.
jobs. And that creates an issue, especially whenever we're talking about the job market and us trying to find new roles. um the effects of AI on the hiring process, I think, just speaks more to you know the issue that is at the heart of all of this with
What's that?
AI. Like, and that is the overestimation of its value, its actual working
Mhm.
output value in the world. Like, how much has this actually changed? How much has this actually benefited us? And it's like, yes, it's made certain things easier,
Streamline some processes and
but
everything.
how much other things has it complicated?
A lot because you're not getting the results that are promised through it, right? Like once again, this job hiring process, pretty sure it probably was like, hey, it's gonna make selecting people faster and everything, but you don't get to see the biases that come from that.
Oh yeah, they're
Because how
saving
was
money
this?
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how was this AI tool created? Who was the actual test groups and everything? Right, those are some of the things that you need to be thinking about whenever you're creating these type of technologies. Uh, and I think that that's why it's so important to have black people in tech in general, black people who are creating emerging technologies and everything to be a part of that. And that's why I think the attack on DEI is so much bullshit because I'm sorry, y'all, and I'm just going on a tangent, but because you don't
Watch them
get
cuss words though.
yeah, you don't get to actually see the background, the makeup, some of the things from other cultures, right? And I think that that was one of the things us growing up as kids that made America sound so enticing to us. It was the melting pot. I remember that's
Hmm.
how they were marketing our
Yeah.
country to us. The melting
It's where
pot. You could
anybody could
come,
come from
yeah.
anywhere and make something of
Exactly.
themselves.
So right now the pendulum is swinging where it's definitely a more nationalistic uh
Definitely. Yeah.
approach that we're taking right now, and I think it's kind of crazy
White
because
nationalistic.
we're but we're losing what made America America, right? Even just through all of these things. So my question is, what can we do, or how can employees kind of like combat these things, right? Because whenever I'm hearing about all these negatives, what can we do to actually combat this? What can we do to say, hey, you guys, this is unfair, this is not giving everybody equal opportunities? Do we sue? Like, what does that look like for us to progress beyond this?
So I know with that study, it did find that these models are in violation or near being in violation of equal employment and fair opportunity. So what you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned about
Mm-hmm.
suing is likely a possibility. Maybe something along the lines of a class action that would cause for them to have to reevaluate and maybe offer compensation to people who have been affected. But
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the solution, I feel like it is less digital and more in-person connection. In the real reality of the world, I think we talked about people who apply for hella jobs online, right? But if we being honest with ourselves, how many jobs have you gotten from just applying online?
Not
Be
many,
be
bro.
be real.
Every job I ever landed is because I knew somebody, bro.
There we go. Like
I
it's
knew somebody, bro.
somebody put you on. The cosign go way harder.
The other, I'm gonna say this: the only times get my foot in the door, like at whenever I was insurance adjusting, that was a little bit more difficult. But I tell you what, I ain't gonna lie, I downright lied on my resume
Hey,
for that.
listen to me, y'all. I
I
didn't lie
downright
at
lied.
first.
I told him,
Jalen told me, he said, "Hey, boy, lie." I said, nah, man, I'm gonna tell them the truth, brother. I'm gonna say, hey, man, I'm smart. I can figure it out. I got this and that
They
and
don't
this and
care
that. They
about none
said,
of
hey,
that.
man, we don't care about none of that. You better lie. You better tell us what we need to hear.
But and I said all of that to say, like, getting your foot in the door, I didn't know anybody. But after that, I knew people who were like, hey, this deployment's happening. They shoot me a text or whatever, right?
Every
They're
job
like,
after
oh,
that you got because somebody text you.
let me tell my team lead that you're about to go ahead and apply for this so they can kind of like help you get on and get selected. And I ain't gonna lie to you, that's how I made some of the most money I've ever made in my life, by working a job.
Yeah.
By networking and just being with people. And I think that that's so important, so pivotal, like you're saying, to actually combat the overuse of that AI is, to get back to the humanistic approach. And I think that's also just what makes you stand out in job interviews as well, is, are you a likable person? Like, can they see you? Like, even if the test might say your background is this, like, if they start to speak to you and they see that, oh, actually, this person would be a great fit for the company. He is very personable, or I like her a lot. Like, they actually a lot different than whatever that on this piece of paper was. But that also goes to getting outside, networking, talking to people. And that's something I even got to do better myself, because once again, I'm still trying to get into this technology space. I know I need to start making more contacts to people. Even like on my current job search at my company, somebody was like, hey, you applying to these jobs, but are you actually messaging and emailing the hiring managers? And I ain't even gonna lie to you, I haven't landed a job yet, but I've been able to connect with people and actually started sending up follow-up messages, just letting them know, hey, this is what I'm working on, this is what I'm learning. So even if I might not land that job directly from me just reaching out to them, they're going to say, oh, this guy's persistent. He's been contacting me. He's sharing the things that he's learning. Maybe I might pass this on to a colleague and see if I can get him in there, because I see what he's doing.
As you talking, I'm thinking about it. You know, you a fisherman. It's like fishing, right?
Lure.
You just dropping lines. You just dropping lines all over.
Yep.
You just dropping lines, and every now and then you got to check on that line. Make sure ain't nothing bit, you know? Hey, look, boom. Hey, this what you doing. But what you said is an excellent point, Jalen. Like, I think we often get so focused on that aspect of like putting in the application that we don't think about the follow-up to the application. It's easy to apply, but on LinkedIn, a lot of the times people give LinkedIn a lot of shit, a lot of flack. Yeah, but they talk bad about LinkedIn, but a lot of times for these positions, they do show who the hiring manager is. And if you get the premium, you can message them. Sometimes you do the subscription. They give you a free trial whenever you want. They be wanting you to pay for premium.
Yeah.
You send them a message, inbox some people. It's worth the extra effort, especially whenever you're trying to make that connection, because at the end of the day, the person who hires you is going to be a human. Yes, AI does filter and go through results, but the person who makes that decision is going to be the person who interviews that hiring manager. And usually it's not the hiring manager. Huh?
I said for now.
For now. Until they achieve AGI, and then we don't have to work no more. Universal basic income for everybody, you know what I'm saying? We're going to be living in Wally world.
Wally. Yeah.
Yep, Wally world.
I'm straight on that. But yeah, like you said,
I heard you want one of them floating scooters.
I'm straight on that. But it is going to be, like David said, a human that ultimately makes that selection. So even just go for it. Like, think about it like dating. Do you just stop if you really want a girl, or if you really want somebody, whenever they say, oh, I don't want it to sound like you being a creep or whatever.
Say it. Say it.
I had to think about it. I had to think about it, because I'm about to come out real crazy. You don't want to be creep mode. They'll be like, I'm not interested. But
they say, Jalen, freak that.
Man, but you know, like, whenever a girl, she give you she giving you play, but she ain't giving you play. So sometimes you be persistent. Then
you gotta show the effort. Yeah. I know what she's saying.
You got a quarter and everything like that. Right? Same thing with some of these jobs. Like, if you really want it, sometimes you got to figure out, hey, how can I figure out this person, or go on True People Search, man. Text their ass.
Hey, don't do that. You probably will get cussed out. Hey, how you get this number? That is all the number one question somebody will ask you if you look them up on True People Search and call that phone number.
Oh my god! Can you imagine? Hey man, I might try that approach to get a job.
Hey
dog.
man, you can try. You know, I think every method is worth trying. You miss 100% of the shots you don't
You're
take.
right.
But if you start doing the method and you realize you're getting poor results, then you gotta shut that joint down. Scientific
That's
method that thing, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's hilarious. Oh man. But yeah, you got anything else you want to get out on this topic, dog? Anything? Is your heart fully content on the hiring processes?
Yeah, man. I think we ended at a pretty good point. Actionable solutions. This AI stuff, I will go on the record and continue to say that I think it's at the center of a lot of the problems that we do currently see with the hype cycle, very parallel to the .com situation, driving inflation and a lot of the problems economically. I don't think that I think it's very similar. If we can learn from history, right? It's very similar to the .com situation, where the value is truly there. The AGI stuff, I say it kind of sarcastically, jokingly, but at one point or another, it likely will happen. But I don't think it'll happen as soon as they say it will happen. And
Yeah, they definitely over pumping it right now.
and this irrational exuberance is like, it was a quote I heard earlier, right? It's easy to ignore history whenever a profit is there to be made. Like, you don't always look at the downsides whenever you thinking just, oh, it's gonna go up forever. That's that irrational exuberance. So I'm taking all this stuff, you know, like I said, hardware companies, the people selling the pickaxes, let's put money there. But the software companies, I'm nervous about them. That Anthropic, I think you mentioned it to me earlier. They're talking about doing their IPO.
IPO, yes
And
sir.
OpenAI's IPOing as well later this year. And it seems like a big dump on the public. And speaking of that, right, I think that's a good way to transition. I want to give an update to the listeners regarding the SpaceX situation. So last week we spoke about the SpaceX IPO, and wanted to provide some updates because we were talking about the potential concerns with the IPO being fast tracked to certain indices like the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones. Well,
Oh yeah, update
time. On Thursday,
Man, I
June
wanna
4th.
cuss.
This was a day after we recorded the pod last time, by the way. Thursday, June 4th, the S&P and Dow determined that SpaceX cannot skip what is known as the seasoning period, which means 12 months being publicly traded with, I believe it's 2 consecutive quarters of GAAP approved growth, like a GAAP approved accounting practices, profitable quarters. So that SpaceX was trying to skirt around that. They were trying to get fast tracked into the S&P, which would then put them in the largest index, and a lot of funds track the S&P, so it would have been included. Also wanted to make some corrections on this. We mentioned that the dollar amount, we kind of went crazy. I said 175 trillion. It was 1.75 trillion. Sorry, y'all forgot the decimal. But the IPO price for SpaceX has been set at 1.75 trillion. That would make it the 6th largest company on the planet. And they are also offering more shares to the public than what is typical. That was something that I did not note the first time we discussed it, but I did want to share that usually the typical IPO offers 5 to 10% of the shares to the public. SpaceX is offering 30% to retail investors. So again, that just kind of another cause for concern, waving the flag. But the news on the S&P is good news. That means that at least until 2027, it doesn't have consideration. And one thing that I did want to note is that it is currently operating at a loss based on the S1 that was filed. So the prospectus that announced its intention to go public, um, the documentation showed that they are operating at a loss for Q1 of 2026. They're at about
How
a $2
much?
billion loss. So the only thing that makes money, as we mentioned on the last episode, is Starlink. The connectivity business generated 1.1 billion. The space in business lost them about 662 million. And the biggest loser is the AI company, XAI, which was rolled up into the SpaceX IPO.
Well, when you look at that,
It operates
AI
at a
losing money
$2.5
again.
billion loss.
That's
So
crazy.
so yeah, you got 1.1 billion in revenue, and then you got 3.1 in losses. So they're currently at a loss. So it's crazy to think that they were trying to get fast tracked with the S&P, and I'm glad. I think this is a major win for retail
See,
investors.
man, hold on, man. This is shit that pissed me off, dog.
What?
I'm just
What's
thinking
going
about
on?
Fawn Weaver. Fawn Weaver get her company snatched because she operating at a loss, but Elon Musk can go IPO while operating at a loss.
Elon is white, and he has the biggest cult following I've ever seen. But I understand, my brother. I get it. But
Spirit Airlines just went out of business because
you in the wrong heat, my brother. There's two different races we running right now. Like with this situation right here, yeah, bro. I think this affects way more people than the Fawn situation, which I think is messed up that this is allowed to persist while that is shut down. I get your point there.
Yeah,
But
that's just the part that
yeah,
really
but like
grinds my gears.
I do think this is an IPO that me personally I'm still advocating everybody stay away from if you're not somebody who got the first on the front
I
end.
had saw that they trying to get shares to be 135
Like
a share.
135, yeah, 135
Yeah,
a
I think
share
it
is
was
the IPO
135
price.
a share.
So SpaceX actually IPOs tomorrow, day after this recording, Friday, June 12th. So we'll see what that looks like, that initial public offering. IPOs historically over the last few years, they typically pump a little bit at the beginning and then they dump off. As we mentioned last time, the initial investors some of them have a holding period that's as low as 5 weeks. So I'll say wait a while, wait a minute. But yeah, that's the update on SpaceX, man. That's all I got on that. I'm gonna leave it alone.
Yeah, let's see how it goes, man. I used to be a SpaceX maximalist. I ain't gonna lie to you.
That's because you wanted to go to Mars with Elon.
No, I don't want to go to Mars, but
He wants to be an
whenever
alien
I
like Lil
first learned
Uzi and Lil
about like
Wayne.
the business model and some of the things that they were doing, which could still happen. I don't even know if that was in the S1. Did they talk about like mining space, like asteroids, space rocks, and all
I
of that
believe
type
as
of
well,
crap?
yeah.
Yeah.
Also setting up data centers in space.
Yeah, all of that type of
Yeah.
stuff. Which I have more faith in that than the other crap.
Yeah. But again, I still think a lot of this stuff is a lot further away. One thing Elon Musk is a master of is telling a story like this is
Overpromising,
right here.
under-delivering.
Yeah, like he talks about it like it is here. And like he's repeatedly shown us he be lying. He be capped out. Like do you remember the Cybertruck, the window? It's like Ray J with the glasses. It's unbreakable. Breaks it instantly. I wasn't supposed to hit it that hard. That's not unbreakable, bro. That's not what unbreakable means.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy. But yeah, man, let's get to our last topic. So, like I said earlier, I didn't want to bring our mood down, but I had heard about this case.
Yeah, what's going on, man? We can't it can't always be smiles and sunshine, man. We gotta talk about the real too.
Yes, sir. So it was this case with this convenience store owner. His name is Rick Chow, South Carolina. In 2023, he actually ended up murdering a young kid that went to shop in his store.
What?
So, yeah, basically the background of the story is
that wasn't like a big national story. I swear I've never heard of this.
Me either till recent. I really thought it was something more recent, but once I started researching, I found out that it actually happened in 2023. So the young man that lost his life, his name is Cyrus Carmack Belton. So back in May of 2023, the young man goes into the convenience store. He shops, but I don't think he actually buys anything. He walks in with a backpack. They tell him he got to put his backpack down because it's against their policy for you to have a backpack while you're shopping in a store. As he's walking out, they accused him of stealing 4 bottles of water, right? So as he's leaving, Mr. I don't even want to
Chow.
call him Mr. But yeah, Chow, his son leaves and follows the young man out of the store. And then he begins chasing after him. So the older man, Chow, he ended up leaving as well. So during that, the young black man, Mr. Cyrus, he's running away. He actually ends up falls, scuffs himself and everything. In the midst of him falling, the man's son said, "Oh crap, he's got a gun," and Chow shoots him in his back.
Wow. What state is this?
Yes, this South Carolina.
South Carolina. Wow. Wow.
Yes,
This is crazy. I can't believe I never heard of this story. So what was the outcome of this? Like, you know, you said you just seen
So
it in the
I'm
news
guessing
recently.
that recently they must have came to the conclusion he actually was found not guilty.
Wow.
The reason why he was found not guilty is for the state of Carolina,
Ridiculous.
it requires murder requires a show of malice, of a malice afterthought. I'm sorry, of a malice forethought. So you have to, once again, motive and intent to kill, to murder, and everything. So he ended up, they could not prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Rick Child acted with malice.
Wow. That is
Yeah.
insane. That is an
Yeah.
absolutely insane verdict. Given, you know, on the flip side, what we just seen happen the other day with the young
With
man,
Carmelo
Carmelo
Anthony.
Anthony. Like,
Mhm.
these aren't incredibly crazily different situations. Yes, the circumstances are different with both of them. Obviously everything is circumstantial, but you have an instance where unarmed people were murdered. Point blank period. Unarmed people were murdered, and we have a young black man who received 35 years, whereas you're telling me this store owner didn't even so much as receive a manslaughter charge
No, nothing.
for shooting an unarmed man who they accused of stealing.
And that's what a lot of people are saying. If he would have got charged with manslaughter, he probably would have actually lost the case and they would have got him for that. But because it was murder, you have to prove it differently than you prove manslaughter.
See, and you know, the states do matter. That is a big difference. Texas versus South Carolina, both the red states, I'm sure. But with the Texas state laws and the jury that the young man was given, young Carmelo, that situation, it just wasn't in his favor. I looked into it. You know, there was a lot of unfounded things, and just like the different levels of attention these two stories have received. Right? Yes, granted, this. Well, no. When did this stabbing happen with Carmelo? Was that
Probably about 2 years now.
2024? Right?
I think so.
And this is crazy. These two people murdered people, but the young black man received a much larger sentence in comparison to what this other gentleman received. And they said there's a murder versus this shit's just insane, man. I just don't get it. Like, not only was this story a much bigger thing, it was also considered a much more racially charged story than the
South Carolina one.
The South Carolina story, where because one, a white boy was murdered, so that became instant. But the amount of scrutiny that this young man faced for what is considered to, in my eyes, a very similar situation where you're clearly in the wrong. I don't give it. So you took somebody's life, you're wrong, bro. Hard stop, right? But this young man they tried to deny him the ability to raise funds. He had funds raised. I believe he raised like $620,000 for legal fees. And then the story became that his family misappropriated those funds, and then it came out to the point to where the platform that they raised the money on had to come out and say they actually hadn't paid out anything to this point. Then it became, the story was the crazy with Carmelo. The story became he's not the victim here. Like his family's finessing all of us.
Yeah,
Is what they tried to paint the picture as, and it's like the platform has to come out and say they haven't given out any money yet at this point. They tried to say his lawyer was a public defender and their mom stole the money, and that came out to not be true. So it's a lot of negative press around this young man for being an aggressor, and it just speaks to the DNA of this country, man. Where it's like, as a black man, bro, they always gonna try to hang us at the stake and burn us at the stake. Versus,
we're always gonna have the harsher punishment. The fact that they gave him 35 years is crazy. Especially, like, I know you said, he did take his life, and I do not agree with that. But if you are in self-defense, I'm more understanding of that. Once again, it's still not right, not morally right to take anyone's life. I couldn't do it myself.
Yeah, and the self-defense angle, depending on which version of the story you believe, neither of us were there, right? So I can't say if the young man did it in self-defense or not. That's just my position on it. Is like, hey, you did that, but to the point where he got charged 35 years and this other mug gets to walk free, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
But
Over $4
consequence free though.
Over 4 bottles of water. That's crazy to me.
But did he go consequence free? Right? He didn't go consequence free, right?
What you mean?
Like, this guy that had the store, is he just like walking around regular? Like, there was no consequences to this action at all?
Yeah, no. Yeah, he's good.
No, did the community do anything?
Oh, yeah, there's been public outcry. They've been, like, vandalizing the hell out of his store and everything like that. And that's kind of...
Vandalizing, though?
Yeah, that's kind of, like, really why I brought up this topic, because the death and the murder was, like, very, very disheartening to me. But it made me think about these stores being set up in the hood and everything, right? So once again, they are vandalizing the store, the people of the community. Every time they try to open up their doors and stuff, like stores being trashed. The reason why I don't agree with that is they just gonna file an insurance claim, get paid on the back end with the insurance claim. But one of the things that I really wanted to kind of talk about is the impacts of the convenience store or the liquor store inside our communities, right?
I'm not gonna it's a parasitic relationship, bro.
And that's
like,
what I want to get to.
The hood store, I don't want to call it the liquor store. This the hood store, bro.
The corner store, the bodega, like anything.
If you grew up, you know the hood store, bro. The little hood spot, they don't sell nothing fresh. Well, they don't sell nothing healthy. They got a bunch of little snack cakes, and they got the cheap drink, the MD and the rot gut liquors and the steel reserves, and they might sell hot food, but none of it is.
You gonna have a few heads standing outside.
Gotta have a couple heads standing outside.
You gonna have a few heads standing outside.
And they might have the only fresh thing in that joint be like a couple little bananas at the front, and if you lucky, they might have an apple or an orange, man. But these are things that contribute to why they say some of our communities are food deserts, right? These are parasitic businesses, and yeah, bro.
So, like, even beyond that, right? So what I'm thinking about is, once again, they come to the hood, they make their money, they make their living, right? We're good enough for us to actually come inside, spend our money, but you're not giving us fresh supplies. Sometimes y'all chips stale, sometimes you candy stale. Like you say, all they giving you is a banana. They gonna sell you some overpriced formula for your baby or whatever.
Facts.
Like they're not
everything
gonna
in that store overpriced. You know that's a good thing. Everything overpriced.
Exactly. All of it's overpriced. Like you go there, you get a soda over there. That shit like $4, bro. Like.
They the type of people that charge you the fee whenever the credit card process.
Oh yeah.
If it's less than $5, you can't spend.
You definitely paying that. You definitely paying that. Oh, it's a $5 minimum fee. All of the things that are happening inside this store, right? They're making money off of you. But the thing to me is they don't take care of the community either,
At
right?
all. And that's
Like
parasites.
what what somebody had made a comparison is like I remember growing up and you go around businesses, you playing for a baseball team or whatever, you trying to get a sponsorship. You try to go get a sponsorship from that store. While they've been in your hood for the past 20 years making money selling these old ass hot dogs and all of this type of stuff to you. But
All
you
this
can't even
bullshit.
they can't even sponsor they can't even actually be a part of the community, actually interact with the community to actually drive commerce, to give back to the community, right? So
Exactly.
what that made me think is what can we do for our communities, right? What does it look like for us to actually own our own convenience stores or own our own something that actually supplies value to us? And what I ended up doing, I ended up just putting up a business on buy, bid, sell. So I will just give y'all kind of like
Yeah,
a
put
little.
it up on the screen, man.
Let's see. You want to pull it up on the screen, dog?
Yeah, man. Show it for the people that's watching. You know what I'm saying? Give them a little visual.
All right, y'all. So this is it's called It's a convenience store with Chinese food to go. It's actually called Three Amigos. So right now the business they're asking for 1.1 million. They are cash flowing $550,000 a year. So in theory, you can make your money back in 2 years after you actually buy this this store. They're making most of their money. Convenience store, it says no gains. Main profit is from Chinese food and take 66 of business and 58 profit. They give you the breakdown of everything that like comes with it and everything. The thing that was very interesting to me though, I
What
went
was
to the
that?
Street View, man.
And what
I
is
went
it?
to the Street View. Hold on,
What Three
dog.
Amigos is? It's a hood store, ain't it?
I gotta show you, dog.
It gotta
Hold
be.
on, man. Let me show you what the Street View look like. But
Oh,
damn.
brother.
Look,
That's
smack
the hood
that
store if I ever seen
on
one.
the corner. Look what, like,
That joint
right,
even got no windows.
nothing,
Bruh.
bro.
It ain't even gotta have the bars in the window because ain't no window.
Oh, they got bars. The
Bars
doors
on the
got
door.
bars. Yeah. The door got bars. But yes, I said all of that to say, like, let's just be 100% like transparent. Like, you can't go get a business loan, an SBA loan, to purchase one of these businesses. Like I said, 2 years you can make your money back. If we were to own this, what I would say is definitely go get with someone who specializes in getting a SBA loan. The thing that I think would probably be a little bit harder for this type of store is I don't think they're gonna stay on to help you run the store.
Oh, heavens no. Heavens no. What? Boy, the boy goes, I got my check and I was gone. That's
Yeah.
them. But with that, right, and I like that you brought up this idea of buying those stores because again, I view those people as parasites within the community. In a parasitic relationship, one person's the host and the other person's the parasite.
Yep.
As our community, we are hosting people who, like Jalen just illustrated, don't invest back into the community. So what would be the solution to that? Like, what's that medicine to get that tapeworm out of that, right? Purchasing the store is great, but if we purchased the store and operated the same way that they operated it, then is it really doing us a service? And not to say that like you have to go in and overhaul everything, but those same things that contribute to it being a food desert, like those aren't going to be solved by the single ownership of one individual. So one thing that I was looking into as this topic, like it brought up, you brought up this topic, it made me think about like what are alternative solutions to ownership for these types of things, and like what are places that this has worked at where like people have come together in as a community to take control of the means of food access in their communities and the types of stores that are provided. Well, as I was looking into this, I learned about grocery store co-ops. Have you ever heard of those?
I haven't actually.
So, grocery co-ops are like a democratically ran store where the customers are the owners. And they focus on, working with local suppliers.
So when you say the customers are the owners, like they buying a share or like
Yes. So the customers purchase a share. Anybody can purchase shares in the co-op. No matter how many shares you own,
mm-hmm.
each person with shares has an equal vote. So it's not like how we talked about SpaceX last week where Elon has most of the voting power. Everybody has an equal vote because it's a cooperative effort, right? The focus of a co-op, unlike most for-profit businesses, which focus on paying, dividends and increasing share price, the goal of this is actually to pass along the benefits to the community. So instead of reinvesting all of the profits, instead of, taking the profits and paying them out to shareholders, you can then take them and reinvest into the company. But the shareholders of these cooperatives do also receive dividends for these. But that's not the primary goal of the cooperative. And it's a really interesting community-driven solution. So I want to look for like examples of where this had been successful. And in Finland, there's a cooperative.
Finland always got some nice.
Finland always they kind of those whole people, they kind of that whole little section of the world, they're kind of like in a little cushy economic pocket where they kind of got a lot of stuff figured out on that Finland, socialist side
Sweden,
of things. Yeah, they're like healthcare and whatnot. They definitely take care of the people. Well, they actually have a cooperative known as the S Group. And the S Group is the largest grocer in the country of Finland.
Really?
Yeah. So the S Group, they don't just own grocery stores. They have several verticals of business. They own the supply chains and things of that nature to it. But instead of being focused on, again, profit, the goal is equal ownership and distribution so that the cost savings can be passed back to the members. I think about it like a credit union model. With the credit union and the banks, the whole point of being a member of a credit union is so you get better rates. Same concept, but just with a grocer. And there's actually, I always don't want to just point to international examples. There are examples stateside of this as well.
Really?
In West Oakland, in California, there's the Mandela grocery.
I ain't gonna lie, I did not expect you to say Oakland, but that's hard.
Bro. And this one's actually been around since 2009. So this is a grocery co-op in Oakland, but America's a little different than Finland. We talked about those countries, how they got the stuff more figured out. At the end of the day, bro, America, we about money. You're gonna have to make a profit.
How you gonna make that money?
So the Mandela one is a little bit more interesting. They have a more unique business model than the traditional business that's this S Group is set up. So instead of it being consumer ownership, it's focused on worker ownership. So you're looking at
that. There's Winco is like that.
Yeah, employee owned. So same concept as Winco, employee owned. And it has a hybrid structure to where they address these food deserts by getting grants from nonprofits, the USDA, things of that nature to keep things going. And instead of working with national suppliers, they work with regional suppliers. And with the workers owning it instead of the consumers, the workers receive the dividends. So it gives workers an incentive to,
for the store to do well.
And now it does require heavy subsidy. So that's one of the issues with, the American model. So I was thinking, like, what's stopping us really as a community from doing something like this? I just think it's often the lack of knowledge, because I didn't know anything about these until more recently. And I feel like when we look at that Parasite that is the hood store, this is a real viable solution.
Much better alternative, yeah.
Now,
I think that this is hard. Like, I would love to see this happen, like you said, to combat these food deserts and everything.
Yeah, yeah, and it's one of those things. Is like, I mean, it's not without its barriers, right? There are political and regulatory things that are going to get in the way. Zoning, zoning laws. You know, groceries. This is not a typical grocery store.
Hmm.
You're not going to get the same amount of subsidy as you would if you were a big box retailer, because you know they can promise X amount of jobs, and
Yeah.
they have a little bit more political capital with lobbyists and things of that nature to make things move. So they can get some money that you won't get. Your labor costs are going to be more, just because, again, you can't corner the market. You're not Walmart. You're not playing in that economy of scale. You
Hmm.
can't cover that much. But
But the alternatives that you deliver to the community is a lot better.
facts. And the another big barrier is the way food deserts are designed,
Hmm.
and you know how food deserts are. A lot of the federal funds that you do have available, they uh they are restricted to certain census tracts, and those census tracts
Wow.
often aren't very walkable or near public transportation. So that
Dang.
is one of the big barriers, is actually getting customers to those stores. So you know, when we think about it, having the knowledge is half the battle. So
Hmm.
like, knowing these types of things and thinking about this, I would love to see a cooperative effort. Like if somebody in Dallas, man, I would love to see if we could help organize something like that. Like that
I'm
would be
down.
something impactful. Like, I don't know everything about it, but I do think that when we look at, we need to look towards solutions for fixing that dynamic, because I think the hood store is like one of the biggest cancers on our community, bro. Like everything that we describe, yeah, we could say it jokingly, but like, is that a positive place? Is
Not at
that a
all.
place that like your
Between
mom
that,
or
the
your
check
sister feel
cashing store,
safe going out
and the
at
liquor
night?
store. Yeah, between those three, they all need to be out the hood.
Like, these are things, and giving access to these things, I think not only would it create jobs and whatnot, but it definitely could, you would see positive impacts in the community. Um, Being treated like a person when you go in a store is
Even
important.
just the job, bro. Like I'm pretty sure with the co-op, you're going to employ more people from the community versus them. When have you ever seen a person of color work in them stores? Never, because it's all just family.
Yeah, and you get treated like a person, bro.
Exactly.
Like, not like a fugitive, a criminal. The boy, like, going back to the story earlier, we don't know if the boy stole the water or not, right?
But bro, four
Four
bottles of
bottles of water
water is
ain't
not
worth his
worth a
life.
life. No,
It's-
at all.
and that's why I
Like,
say,
why not call the police? Hey, he just stole some water. Because you knew it was bullshit. You call the police and say he stole 4 bottles of water, they're going to say,
where he got a gun from?
yeah,
If he had a gun, you think he was gonna be running?
no. But I digress, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, that's just something that I thought about. Yeah, y'all let us know what y'all think. You know, if that's something y'all be down for, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, we want to hear from y'all, bro. I definitely love hearing any feedback from the audience with any of these topics that we bring up. So again,
Facts.
podcast at Black Wolf Renaissance, shoot us an email. We love to hear from y'all. But
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
you had
But
anything else you want to add on that topic, brother?
man, I think you actually wrapped that up pretty good, bro. We could actually move into closing the show.
Cool
So
deal.
I want to say thank you to anybody who's still here with us right now. Thank you for listening. If you are still here right now, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Here's that little notification bell. We appreciate y'all. Give us that
5 star,
5-star
5 star.
rating and review. We need that 5-star. But if it's not a 5-star to your expectation, leave us an honest review. Don't just put the 3
Yeah, don't
stars and
sugarcoat it.
you
Yeah.
don't tell us what's going on. Like, at least let us know, hey, this is how y'all can improve. Give
Cause
us
y'all
some
let
good
us know that we was cussing too
yeah.
much.
Give us some good actionable feedback so we can go ahead, get in the lab, and take care of y'all on that.
And y'all see, we trying to do better, man. I think our cuss words is down over 70%.
My AI tracker says we are actually down 95%.
Ran all the transcripts through the track. Hey, how much cussing they got going on in this podcast?
The
Too
foul
much.
language tracker. Yeah, but man, I just want to say thank you again to everybody. David, you got anything you want to add to close out the show?
Man, not really, brother. Again, just echoing your statements. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. We got more coming in the pipeline. Like I mentioned, interviews. We're gonna get some more people on here. Some of these things, I just want to give y'all a heads up, guys. We did a lot for the love of the game, guys. We can't do it for the love of the game always, bro.
Yeah, we got bills.
We got life.
Kids.
Responsibilities.
And we want to do this full time, but we can't do it for free.
So certain things, y'all, we gonna have them behind a paywall. But we love y'all. We rock with y'all.
About to get our Patreon back rocking.
And we gonna get that thing jumping for y'all. So y'all definitely be on the lookout for that. Everybody that's been a patron since, the beginning, we got absolute mad love for y'all. We appreciate everything y'all do for us at BWR. We'll be back again next week with some more amazing insight, and you never know what else you might hear from the BWR podcast. Any last things you want to say to close us out, brother?
No, sir.
Well, until next time, y'all, this is Black Wealth Renaissance signing out. Peace.